Seated hamstring isometrics. So we have like a longer, thicker style resistance band here. And then we have the squat rack, and I'm gonna set the band around the pole on the squat rack. And we're gonna use this as our anchor point. So if you're somebody that maybe is at home or has limited gym equipment, you do not have to have a squat rack. You don't have to have a resistance band. Pretty much anything that is a loop or anything that you can make into a loop that's got some sort of pretty good tensile strength. So this band doesn't give a ton. So this could be like a ratchet strap. It could be a belt, something along those lines. You can take that strap, and what you can do is you can make a knot. So if I take the band and I do a loop and I put a knot in the band here, then if I were to go to the door jamb, right? So closest to the hinge, I'll stick this through, and I want to get it at the right anchor height, which we'll talk about in just a second. And then I'm going to close the door. So that way when I go to pull on that band, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay. And then the other way you could do it, which is a little bit harder, is get a partner and have a partner just kind of hold the band for you. So if you do some isometrics, there's some force for you to be able to push back against. So, but for our example, I'm going to use the squat rack. We're going to go down low. I'm going to loop it through itself. And then I'm going to use a plyo box here so I can be seated and have my legs hanging. This could be a bar stool, something along those lines. The idea is you're trying to get on a surface that's high enough to where your feet are not hitting the ground. And then when I put the band around my foot, I'm not too concerned about the knee angle right now. Typically what we do is we do what we call multi-joint isometrics, meaning that we change the range of motion as we do the isometrics. So I'm pretty close to a 90-degree angle relative to my lower leg bone to my upper leg bone. And I'm just gonna pull heel to butt, and I'm gonna hold that position. And the hold time, that's what's called an isometric. It'll vary depending on who you are. So just look at your programming. That'll be depicted in the programming notes for how long you're holding. And then if there's a specific joint angle we tell you, then this would be an example of like a 90-degree, right? And then if I wanted like a 60-degree, I'm gonna scoot out a little bit. So in order for there to be resistance on the band at 60 degrees, I'd have to move the box back. And then if we say like multi-joint, maybe we say 3 multi-joint isometrics, meaning 3 angle, excuse me, not multi-joint because it's one joint, but 3 angle isometrics is gonna be with your legs straighter, kind of in the middle, and then closer to butt. So we're changing the positioning as we do the isometric, okay? And then how hard you push. That's gonna be all relative to your symptoms. So if we've talked about staying away from pain, then you're not gonna push into any pain at all. If you're somebody that we've talked about like kind of pushing into that pain barrier, then usually it's like a 3 to 4 out of 10. Just pay attention to all of that being depicted in those notes. And then the last piece is the setup with your leg on the surface. So ideally, you're gonna get set up to where the back of your knee is almost all the way against the surface, so the entire thigh is rested. So when you go to pull, you're not trying to hold your leg up. Because when you hold your leg up, we're gonna recruit the hip flexors, and I want you to put all the load into those hamstring muscles.